Greetings from the New Horizon Updates channel. We're thrilled to have you on board our community. Here we routinely disseminate up-to-the-minute news and details about our thrilling progress. Stay tuned for regular updates and accompany us on this expedition toward uncharted territories. The situation remains tense between Israeli forces and Hamas in the Gaza Strip, as Israel readies itself for a possible ground offensive. An increase in support from the United States is palpable, with additional warships sent and 2,000 troops stationed in the region. Tensions soar even higher as a hospital in Gaza was bombed, leaving an estimated 500 casualties. The Gaza Strip is a tinderbox ready to ignite, and peace seems to be a distant hope. The accusing finger is pointed at Israel by Hamas for the hospital attack, while other incidents have been attributed to Israel by varying entities. The world watches on with bated breath, anxious about the potential of this conflict to spread and draw in the region. In a recent development, around 500 casualties were reported in the explosion at the Ali Arab Hospital. Yet who is to blame remains a mystery. There is a marked sense of apprehension as Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas cancels a meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden, followed by Jordan canceling a conference. The U.S. maintains its strong presence in the Middle East, standing by Israel with warships and troops on high alert. The possibility that Israel will launch a ground offensive in Gaza is becoming increasingly likely, the consequences of which could be severe for civilians. The ripple effects of this conflict could ensnare nations like Iran and the United States. Israel may opt for a limited-time offensive, aiming to neutralize most members of Hamas by capturing or neutralizing a significant portion of its members and dismantling its military infrastructure. Alternatively, Israel might endeavor to divide Gaza into two, confining the conflict to the northern part, while nudging Palestinian civilians to move south. The world is on edge, watching every move in this volatile situation, fully aware of the potential for significant global repercussions. In this scenario, Israel may aim to extend its military occupation into Gaza, which could be a long-term mission spanning decades. This would require a significant number of troops to remain in Gaza, potentially for years or even decades. Another possibility is dividing Gaza into different regions, with armed groups in the north and civilians in the south. However, Israeli Prime Minister Isaac Herzog seems to have ruled out this option, stating that they do not desire to rule the lives of over 2 million Palestinian people. Another potential scenario is the failure of Israel's offensive against Hamas, leading to a prolonged and costly conflict. Hamas demonstrated its ability to breach Israel's security barrier by infiltrating hundreds of militants into southern Israel on October 7th. Israel has been criticized for a slow response, pushing back Hamas. If the ground attack in Gaza fails, Prime Minister Israel may face pressure to limit or halt the offensive and engage in negotiations. A fourth scenario involves the conflict expanding to Iran and Hezbollah. Both have warned of joining the battle. Hezbollah is present in Syria, and Iranian-backed militias in Iraq have also threatened to attack Israel this year. Houthi rebels in Yemen, seen as Iran's proxy, could add to the complexity. This multi-front war could involve missiles launched from Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and potentially Yemen. The involvement of Iran and its proxies is a more challenging and costly prospect for Israel than the conflict with Hamas, especially with Hezbollah's substantial and advanced weaponry. Dr. Julie Norman, a Middle East expert at University College London, suggests that the possibility of escalation is a major concern, despite diplomatic efforts by the United States in the Arab region this week. Ultimately, the decision will likely come down to Iran's actions and whether they are instigating action against Israel, even beyond Hezbollah. The worst-case scenario is a global conflict, which is extreme and undesirable for leaders and populations worldwide. If Hezbollah and Iran engage, the U.S. will face pressure to carry out direct attacks, and both the U.S. and Israel have positioned F-15 bombers in Jordan, brought 2 aircraft carriers to the Mediterranean, and may fall into a similar status. This could lead to a direct conflict between the U.S. and Iran, a major ally of Iran. In this situation, some countries, such as China and Russia, have called for a ceasefire in Israel, advocating for diplomacy and the establishment of an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel to bring peace and stability. However, a ceasefire seems challenging to achieve as the conflict may enter a heated phase with Israel's ground operation in Gaza. Political analysts suggest that one of the major obstacles to achieving peace is that the international community hasn't shown much interest in such an outcome, especially before full-scale conflicts erupt. While the focus is on the escalating situation in Gaza, another conflict between Russia and Ukraine continues to intensify. Russia has launched a significant military offensive to dislodge Ukrainian forces from strongholds in eastern Ukraine. This move, considered the most extensive Russian attack since early 2023, is seen as an attempt to gain the upper hand along the front lines. The battle in eastern Ukraine is ongoing, with both sides striving for the initiative as winter approaches. The Russian offensive has reportedly been met with resistance, particularly in the city of Abakan and its surrounding areas. The city's strategic location, controlled by Russia for years, has enabled Ukrainian forces to create a threat to Russian supply lines. The town, along with the Donetsk city controlled by Russia, symbolizes Ukrainian resistance in the conflict. The outcome in these areas will have a significant impact on the overall balance of power. In summary, the situation is highly complex, with the risk of a global conflict being the worst-case scenario. While some nations call for a ceasefire and diplomatic solutions, the focus remains on the immediate and ongoing conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine. These events have the potential to reshape the geopolitical landscape significantly. I'm delighted and grateful for you watching the video. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to catch more upcoming videos. We hope you'll continue to support us. Thank you.